What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. So, Jax was at Nina's new penthouse, which happens to be Ava's old penthouse. So, apparently, Ava finally sold her penthouse and she sold it to Nina. I'm happy and I'm sad at the same time because Nina finally has a home of her own. But damn, Ava sold the penthouse. Ava had that penthouse pretty much damn near ever since she got to Port Charles. Like, she had that penthouse since what, 2014, 2013, somewhere around there. So for about 6-7 years she had that penthouse. And I'm gonna miss Ava being in that penthouse. Like, I really am. Every time I look at it, I just think of Ava. You know what I mean? But I'm happy the deal is finally done. You know, she finally parted ways with it. I would have kept it, per se. You know what I mean? Like, I would have kept it. But Carly stopped by or whatever. She was surprised to see Jax there. You know, she stopped by with a bottle of wine to apologize to Nina for her behavior at the burial or whatever at the graveyard. And her and Jax get to talking, and she started telling Jax about her nightmares and stuff about Nell and how she thinks that her nightmares are some kind of warning, like she's forgetting something important that happened that night. Maybe the things that she is forgetting is maybe the fact that the necklace fell. Because that necklace, with Carly and Sonny and nobody knows, is that, well, Sonny saw the necklace. He saw Avery with it. But they don't know the significance of that necklace. That's what's going to come back to bite Carly in the ass later. Because they haven't pieced all that together, of course. Maybe if Sonny sees Nina wearing that necklace, maybe it'll remind him like, oh shit, I saw Avery with that. Or maybe if Carly finds it and then she sees Nina with it, she's gonna be like, oh shit, Avery just had that necklace and stuff. And they start piecing it all together. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be a fun thing to happen. But I think maybe that could be why she keeps having these nightmares and all that type of stuff. Maybe it's because the necklace fell and that's what she's trying to remember. Maybe it could be that. Who knows? But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, and then Valentine, you know, keeps bringing up the fact that Carly is always going to be number one in Jax's life. And of course, when Nina gets home, she sees Carly and Jax hugging again. Because remember, when she popped up at the police station, she saw them hugging. Now she comes home and sees them hugging. Like, eventually she gonna start being insecure about her place in Jax's life and where she stands when it comes to Carly. So it's gonna be a hot mess. So I got a feeling that Jax is gonna have to do a lot of reassuring, a lot of explaining. Because it's gonna start to bug Nina. Because I think it's bugging her already, but eventually she's gonna have that conversation with Jax about Carly constantly being around. Like, she understands they got a daughter together and stuff, but y'all daughter is damn near grown at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all don't need to be physically seeing each other all the time like this. So she's definitely gonna be questioning that. So anyway, Sasha was at the daggone bar ordering a drink. And Valentine felt like she done had enough drinks because she was acting all happy or bubbly, like she was already drunk. Little did he know her ass wasn't drunk. She was high as a kite. So, of course, you know, Valentine offered to take her back to her room or whatever. And we all know that wouldn't have been good because we see what happened with him in Brooklyn. So the last thing Valentine need to be doing is taking another hot woman back to their room. I'm just saying. So Chase, of course, he intervened in the situation, basically got on Valentine to back off. And, you know, Sasha basically told Chase that she was fine. She didn't need a babysitter, that he needed to leave her alone. Chase obviously felt like she was lying. She clearly wasn't fine. But I'm like, you clearly can't piece together that something's off. Like, he knew something was off with her. He just didn't know what, you know, because, I mean, some people could tell a drug addict when they see it, but maybe, you know, her bubbly personality, maybe she, you know, she is at a bar. You would think that she had too many drinks. But I'm like, clearly something else is going on with her. So, you know, she ends up, the bartender basically cuts her off and tell her like she need to go drink somewhere else. She need to go to another bar, but he ain't serving her with the way she acting. So she got mad, knocked the glasses over and stuff falling out of her purse. So when Curtis came over to help her, he noticed the packet of cocaine. He noticed it. And as we all know, Curtis used to be an addict, so he knows. And when Nina came over to help and stuff like that, Curtis basically told her to be careful because Sasha's high as a kite. She's high. She needs some help. So Sasha basically was telling her that she was fine to be by herself. But I'm glad Nina said hell no, because eventually you're going to come down off that high and you're going to need somebody, you know, to be by your side when you come down from your high. So I'm happy that that Nina was there to help her, you know. And Nina, she didn't even take her back to her room. Nina was like, nah, you gonna come with me back to my place and you could sober up there and I can help you there. Their interaction, I loved it. I love the chemistry between Nina and Sasha. And I feel like, I understand for story purpose or whatever, you know, maybe the writers felt they could get more story out of Sasha being, not Sasha, Nell being her daughter, which they can, obviously, with Wiley and stuff like that. You're going to get a lot of story out of that. But I felt like, damn, Sasha could have been her daughter too, you know, and I would have been fine with that. I would have been happy with that. Sasha definitely needs somebody right now. She's basically doing what Alexis is doing, pushing people away. I don't need your help. And I'm going to say what I said again. Sasha, I think, really is screaming out for help, but she has to help herself first. Because I feel like when people try to help somebody, it's a wasted effort if they don't want to help themselves, because then you're going to be doing it for no reason. You think that you're helping them, but in reality, it's just going to be a big waste of time if they don't want it for themselves. You know what I mean? Because all they're going to do is relapse and go back to doing what they were doing, and it's going to be, you got to start all over with them again. So let them hit rock bottom, let them do what they do, and then come to you or go to somebody else for the help. You know, as long as they get the help. It don't matter who they go to, but as long as you get that help. And I think Sasha might have that problem too. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. You know, maybe her being younger, maybe she'll be a little bit more, you know, receptive to help and actually see that she has a problem and want the help. You know what I mean? Because the way that she lashed out at Chase and stuff, and that's my issue with this story. I just hope that she's not taking drugs all because of her losing Michael. Because I would feel like that's just dumb. Like, that's what makes you go to drugs, because you broke up with somebody that you cared about. Because, like I said before, it was going to be inevitable for her and Michael to break up. Because she did not want the Insta family, the kids. She wasn't ready to be nobody's mother. She wasn't ready to be nobody's stepmother. She wasn't ready for all of that. And like I said, Wiley and Michael, that's a package deal. So if you're not ready for that, how are y'all going to sustain that relationship? It's not going to work. So eventually they were heading for a breakup any damn way. So please miss me with all that, oh, you're doing drugs because you broke up with the guy that you loved or cared about. That's not enough for you to be hitting no cocaine now. Come on, because cocaine is a hell of a drug now. I can see you doing some pot, maybe drinking a little, maybe, you know, sleeping around, acting erratic a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But some heavy drugs over a breakup? Hell no. I can't see it. So anyway, hopefully she get the help that she clearly needs. But I got a feeling though, this secret, whether Chase likes it or not, whether she likes it or not, I have a feeling by November sweeps, this secret is definitely going to be coming out. At least by November sweeps. It's going to be coming out. So anyway, moving on from that. Nina met up with Curtis and stuff to talk about the investigation into finding Phyllis Cofield or whatever, the nurse that worked, you know, with her, I guess, when she was in a coma and helped deliver her kid or whatever. So basically, Curtis found 6 different Phyllis Cofields who all were nurses. So he's basically letting Nina know to do a thorough search and check up on all these Phyllises. It's gonna be costly. So of course, Valentine sitting there eavesdropping on the conversation. He offered to pay for it, and Nina had to set his ass straight real quick and let him know that she doesn't want his help, don't need his help, don't need his money, don't want his money. But of course, Valentine had to throw the whole Jackson Carly shit up in her face. That's the only card that he has to play with her. That she's dating somebody who has an ex-wife and a child with that ex-wife, and their friendship and they're close. That's the only card he has to play with Nina. Because I feel like he's trying to manipulate her. He's trying to build on her insecurities. Because he knows how insecure Nina can be. He knows it. And he's using that against her to manipulate her into acting crazy with Jackson Carly, so that way they could break up and he could swoop right on back in. He ain't slick. Valentine is not slick with his game, because it's clear what kind of game that you're playing, and you're not slick about it. Like, you're being real obvious. Hopefully Nina don't fall for it, but I got a feeling she's gonna start to. After seeing the Jackson Carly hug, she's gonna start to fall for that BS. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. So Finn stops by to see Jackie, and they start talking about the past. And boy, oh boy, were a lot of people right, including myself, that they had a fling. So before she met his dad, she basically was doing an article on Finn, shadowing him and stuff like that. She was doing a story on residents, and because he was a resident at the time. And they talked about how they got close at that point when she was shadowing him and stuff, and she was doing her story. And when she started, they even kept their closeness when she started to date his dad. And they slept together the night before she married his father. Ain't that some shit? Now that's some hot Port Charles gossip, if I've ever heard it. That's some hot gossip for your ass. Like, she slept with the daddy. She slept with the daddy. She slept with the son. Hell, she married the daddy. Slept with the son before she married the daddy. That's some Jerry Springer Maury type shit right there. That whole family need to be in the green room at the Jerry Springer show. Like, come on now. That's some gossip for your ass. I knew it. I knew they slept together. I knew it, because the way she kept trying to tell Chase to let it go, and they need to let the past be the past. You did something, and I knew they slept together. So now, are we going to get a DNA test, like, on Chase? Because something telling me that he might be Finn's son at this point. So basically, she admitted to Finn that she would have called off the wedding to his father if he would have just admitted to her that he wanted to be with her, that he wanted to make a commitment. So he kissed her. And then he changed his mind and was like, it was a mistake. It shouldn't have happened or whatever. So that right there made her marry his dad. Because he told her to forget about it. And he left. So she decided to marry his father. So when Chase showed up or whatever, because him and Jackie were supposed to meet at the Metro Court bar or whatever for drinks, he was wondering why Finn was there. So Finn came up with some excuse as to why he was there by telling Chase that they were there to, mend fences, and he would like to have that family dinner that Chase wanted to do. So, of course, Chase was happy about that, hugging his brother / daddy, because we all know that's his father. I'm calling it right now. That got to be his daddy. They need to check the DNA on that one. So that's a mess right there. That is a mess. And I can't wait for their father to come back to town, because you already know shit gonna hit the fan. You know all of this tea is gonna boil over when they daddy come back to town. I wonder if their father know about any of this, cause he don't seem like no stupid man. Like, maybe he known all these years and just never said nothing. You never know what people know. So anyway, moving on from that. So Anna was in the lab with Kevin and stuff like that. She was telling him basically that she think it's possible that Alex is Peter's real mother, and that she was telling him about the arthritis markers and stuff like that. So she wanted to test Faison's brain, but of course she can't, because she would have to get Peter's consent. And obviously she don't want Peter to know about this, so she got to do it on the sly. So Kevin was like, ironically, Kevin was actually getting ready to order some tests for Faison's brain, and, for autoimmune diseases. And one of those tests also included arthritis. So she hit the jackpot with that one. I really just hope that they decide not to have him as her son. I really hope not. I think that would just be disastrous. I think that would just be a mess. So anyway, moving on from that. So Dante was at the rib talking with Lulu or whatever. Dustin shows up to celebrate Maxie and Peter's engagement. And he didn't know Dante was gonna be there. So Dante had to explain that he was just there or whatever to have a beer. So Dustin was like, okay, so since you're here, let's talk. Might as well get to know each other, And I agree. I feel like Dustin is taking the high road on so many levels. And I feel like that's a man thing to do. It's a respectful thing to do. Because he wants to talk to Dante, get to know Dante, because whether they like it or not, they're going to be around each other because Dustin's moving in with Lulu and he's going to be around Dante's son. And Dante's back in town now, so y'all might as well chop it up and get to know each other, see where y'all stand with everything. Have a man-to-man conversation. So I respected Dustin for that. Dante wasn't really interested. And I'm not surprised. I'm really not. Because I think eventually Dante will want to talk to Dustin, but I think right now he's not interested in that because, number one, he's also back in town because he's on a mission. Two, he ain't ready to talk to Dustin right now. Because, Dante's still going through some shit, so he might get triggered and beat that man ass. So I think the best thing for Dante to do is to walk away. So Dante went up to the bar to talk to Peter or whatnot. He apologized to him for his reaction to their engagement. So Peter, of course, was asking Dante what they were going to do. What he was going to do with job-wise and stuff like that. So he was thinking about getting into private security and stuff. So Peter, of course, offered Dante a job working at the Invader. And we all know that's what Dante was hoping for because it helps him infiltrate Peter's business and get closer to Peter to get information. So, of course, Dante texted that doctor or whatever to let him know that, he infiltrated Peter's business and everything is going according to plan right now. But, of course, that's going to cause some problems for Lulu because her and Dante are going to be in close proximity to each other now, basically working with each other. So that's going to be interesting. And Dustin ain't going to be all too pleased about it. Maxie, of course, was being all extra because she had no idea that Lulu and Dustin were moving in together because Dustin wanted to know if Lulu still wanted to do that. And Lulu was like, yeah, of course, or whatever. I feel like Lulu, she cares about Dustin, but like I said, it ain't nowhere near to the way that she cares about Dante. And I feel like eventually her and Dante may get back together. And the look on Lulu and them face when Peter was like, oh, I hired Dante to be private security for the paper or whatever, that's going to cause some issues. That's just going to be some hot mess. And I'm here for it. I can't wait for that. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I will see y'all all later. Hope you all have a great night. Peace.